we going? Okay, so I need some energy to start this talk. Can I have everybody stand up, please? It's after lunch, so you'll have to burn off a little calories. Is everybody ready? Are you ready? What? I can't hear you, huh? Are you ready? Huh? Okay, so on the count of 3, you're going to repeat after me. Are you ready? Okay. I am enough. I am enough. Okay, have a seat. So I'm going to talk about that for a little bit. I am enough. When people tell me I'm not good enough, when people talk about me, when doors get shut in my face, when I have tough days, and when I cry, I am enough. When I fail a test and I just can't get calculus, and I miss the bus, and I gotta walk, and my car's not working, I am enough. When mom's getting on my nerves and things aren't going right and I'm just feeling sad and depressed inside, I believe I am enough. I am enough. I am enough. I can win. I can affect my community. I can bring about change just by being me. I'm going to tell you a little bit of my life story and how I came to the conclusion that I am enough. Enough. Has anybody been driving and the car gets on E? See, you thought E was for empty, but E is for enough. Enough to get you where you gotta go before the car breaks down. Enough. I am enough. So growing up in elementary school, middle school, I was bullied a lot. You know, when you're special, people just can't take it, right? I was bullied a lot. So people would say all kinds of things, sometimes trip me, do all kinds of crazy things. And I remember feeling so low, so lost, you know, so hopeless. And I wanted to experience life. I wanted to be happy. I wanted to feel good. And somewhere along the line, I thought about, I cannot give other people the power to determine if I'm going to be happy enough, right? If I'm going to be happy or not. So I'm like, how do I go about doing this? How do I cultivate my own happiness, my own sense of self-worth? How do I give love to myself when it seems like there's hate all around me? How do I do that? It's so crazy. Well, I read a lot. I would sit at home and just read and read and read and read. I read lots of books. They knew me at the library. And I found that reading takes you on a magical journey. How many people like to read? Woo! It takes you on a magical journey where you can put yourself in the space of a main character. You can imagine a life where you're not feeling sad, where things aren't going bad, and you can fly, you can travel, whatever's happening in the book. So it all started with reading, and I began to think, if this character is experiencing these things, maybe, just maybe, there's a chance that I can experience these things. And so I went to art school. I majored in drama and technical theater and visual arts, and I kind of threw myself into art, okay? And through art, I felt validated. Like the work I was doing, it looked good. People liked it. When I was performing in plays, people were like, awesome, 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 right? And I felt good. And so I found one place where I could be great, where I could shine and the people loved me. And I felt validated. But what happened was I just depended on that. I leaned on that. I craved to be on the stage in those performances. And when you're up there, everyone loves you and you're just like, yes. And then when you leave, you feel the same. You feel the exact same way you felt, sad and lonely. And so I said, there's something more that I have to do. So I began to do a work on myself and think about, why do I value people's opinions so much? Why, if someone says, oh, you're not good at that, you're not smart, you're not pretty, why does that matter? Why do I take that to be my truth? And so I had to, in a sense, divorce myself from people, to separate myself from people's opinions, and to make my own. And so the more I started to validate my voice, to say to myself, Patrice, you're right, you do look good today. I know. I started to believe it. It took a while, looking into the mirror and saying nice things. How many of us, and you don't have to raise your hand and admit, how many of us Every time we do something bad, it's like, oh, God, that was so stupid. Why'd you do that? Or look in the mirror and you're like, oh, God, another breakout. Oh, God. Ugh. Or you put something on and you're like, oh, this is not working for me today. Ugh. So if you had a friend, and every time you saw that friend, they were saying that stuff to you. Oh, my God, you're wearing that again? You just wore that last Tuesday. You really wouldn't trust them, right? Talk back to me. You really wouldn't trust them, right? You really wouldn't want to hang out with them, right? Okay, because every time they had something to say, it was negative. Well, we do that to ourselves. If we sit back and think, every time we look at ourselves, sometimes we're doing something, we have something negative to say. What's up with that? Huh? Something negative to say. And so I started to affirm myself. So even though I may not have had my hair or my outfit or whatever exactly how I wanted it, or maybe I didn't do as well on that test or whatever, I started to affirm myself. You're here. You're great. You can learn to do better. You can do this. You can do that. And I started to believe it. And I believed that I was powerful. I saw myself achieving. I'm the first in my family to graduate from college. Anybody going to be the first? Any first generation? So, any first generation? Awesome. Stand up and give yourselves a round of applause. I don't think you realize how big of an accomplishment that is going to be. When you walk across that stage, you not only change the trajectory of your life, but the trajectory of your family to say you have a college graduate. And then your community looks at you and says, wow, I can do that because she did. And so going through college, it was difficult because I didn't have anybody to look at. I was kind of out there on my own. And in fact, I had to work 3 jobs to pay for tuition. And all the while, it's kind of like that little train trying to get uphill. I think I can, I think I can. Because I had started to practice affirming myself. And that moment when I walked across the stage and collected my diploma, I knew that this was only the first step in making a big splash in my community and in my world. And I want to encourage each and every one of you to begin to cultivate an affirming culture. That starts within you. That starts with just by giving a kind word to yourself. And I know it might sound corny at first, you know, like I'm going to look in the mirror and say, you look great, Zach. Okay. But do it. And you will find that it starts to seep inside of your soul. You'll believe it. And then you'll start to impress that belief onto other people. And before you know it, you'll empower your community. Because how many of you feel like or believe that you have greatness waiting for you? Raise your hand. That you are destined to do something larger than yourself. Okay. Now, how many of you believe that you got all the tools and everything to accomplish that right now? Okay, not as many hands. The things that you're going to go through between now and the time that you accomplish your big goal, those things are going to prepare you. Has anyone ever heard the saying that it's not about the destination, but it's about the journey? It is that journey that really works you. When you have those trying moments and you're crying and you feel like you just have to quit this thing because it's just stressing you out, but you keep going anyway because something in you, that spark in you wants to continue, wants to finish. And when you finish, you have that acceptance in yourself. And you empower people around you. So again, I want to encourage you all to start that community within yourselves because you are important and you are enough. Thank you.